YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back after the fourth and final day of the NFL Combine, giving you my winners and losers like we've done for each day of the NFL Combine. So if you haven't seen those videos, they're in a playlist. Go check them out. We'll have a post-Combine mock draft tomorrow, which is Monday. So that'll be exciting because there is some changes here. A lot of good football players in this draft. And then we'll start covering the franchise tag, trades, and free agency right around the corner. We grade every single free agency signing with several different videos throughout the early portion of free agency. So join us, like, subscribe to notifications on, follow us on Twitter for the live news, rumors, and updates. It's a must follow. Subscribers get bonus content. Link pinned in the comments for that. Our Discord and our sponsors underneath me right now, but also link pinned in the comments. Offensive lineman and running back for day 4. We're going to start with Broderick Jones, the Georgia offensive tackle, who is already known as one of the top tackles in the first round, obviously. So, but yeah, we knew the measurables would be fine, but coming in and measuring, well, I guess, and the arm length is there, the appropriate length of what you're looking for with a top-tier offensive tackle. And then faster than I expected, too, and just had a really good day in general. 4.97, showing that he's that quick. He's a physical blocker, but he's that quick, as well, and has that much speed. So I thought that was it was impressive. I thought it was a little bit better than I expected. So kind of what he did, not much of a change in stock because there really wasn't much room to grow because how high he was at already. But, I mean, it was possible he could have been the first tackle taken, but it was also possible he could have been second or third. I think he really locked himself in with, at being either the first or the second. I think he really locked himself in there. So should be an early draft pick, somewhat early on draft day. And just was very impressive out there today, faster than I thought. So that was a good sign for him. Blake Freeland, the BYU offensive tackle, had a really good day. He actually had a very bad day, rough outing in the Senior Bowl. Just getting beat up in one-on-ones. The game wasn't good either for him. And he was kind of being talked about a bit, maybe early second, even that high. But the Senior Bowl really pushed him down, like not being able to handle those guys in one-on-ones or just anybody lined up across from him. So that really pushed him down. So maybe early round 4, but he needed this day, and he had this day, and it boosted him back up, maybe to, around early round 3, maybe somewhat of a project. I mean, not a huge project, but it's a guy I don't know if you're starting right away. But you love the length, the size, the athleticism, breaking records. I mean, 10 broad is ridiculous, 37 verts ridiculous, running under 5 is great for him. So he's a lengthy tackle that's pretty damn quick with his feet, kind of today's style swing tackle perhaps. I mean, that's great. He had a good day, and it's a guy that you probably bring in there and maybe you don't start year 1, have him as a second string right away, and some upside, a little bit of an upside guy at the tackle position perhaps. And I guess, having the length and having the quickness, the speed is good for kind of today's NFL speed rushers, which it seems like they're getting, leaner and faster, so that's good. It's just kind of worry about him with more of the physical guys, handling the bull rush. Seen that was a problem at the Senior Bowl. So, yeah, maybe a little bit of risk still, but you like the upside there, Blake Freeland. He needed to have this day. He had it, so that was good. John Gaines, the second, was a pretty good one here on the day. So maybe not as big of a name as the other guys. What I like about him, besides the numbers and the testing and how he did today, is the versatility. In his career, he's played tackle, he's played guard, and he's played center. So having the experience across the board is fantastic. Teams are going to love that. And he has the size. He really has the size for tackle. I mean, 6'4". He's got the length. Again, he has the size for tackle, but I do think he projects as just being better overall on the inside. I think he lists as a guard in his first year in the NFL, and maybe can start. But and on top of having the good day, teams love that because you bring this guy in, he's probably a second string guard right off the bat. If he has to fill in there, that's great. But if a center goes down, he can fill in there. If a tackle goes down, he can fill in there because depth is very important. We see that every single year across the league. The offensive line, just the offensive line unit in general across the board there. So I think that's fantastic. Teams don't want to carry a bunch of centers too, so having him as like a backup guard, but also the backup center, but also the backup tackle, I think it's fantastic. 5.01 40 time was great. I thought he was moving faster than that. The way he was moving, I was like, man, this is easily going to be in the 4s. But 5.01's plenty fast enough. 9.6 broad's really good. The 20-yard shuttle was big time. That's actually a very important drill test for offensive linemen. The history shows in 4.5 is a great number. That is a great number for him. Past offensive lineman that ran around that range. It turned out to be pretty good for the most part. Really for the most part. And by far, I thought the best in the group there. So that was fantastic. So before, it wasn't really being talked about enough. Maybe round 5, maybe somebody to take a shot on him round 4 because they just love the versatility. But now I think we could see him slide into late round 3. There isn't a long list of good interior players, in my opinion, like sure things. Unless you're moving guys to that spot, which gains, I guess you are. But and then having the versatility, I think that's fantastic. So I think we can see somebody take him late round 3. I thought he had a really good outing here. And an obvious one here in Jamir Gibbs, the running back from Alabama, a first-round player. We know he's an electrifying playmaker out there at Alabama at the running back position. We saw it at Georgia Tech, too. I've been very high on him since early years at Georgia Tech. We knew he was fast. He knew he was fast, knew he was quick. We thought most of it, the big playability after the catch or after, the ball's in his hands was because of the vision, awareness, making people miss with his footwork. We knew he was fast, though, but 4.36 is flying. Obviously, I thought he would have been 4.4s, which is plenty fast enough, like 4.45 around that range. Honestly, if he would have went out there and ran a 4.50, I would have had no problem. I still think that's fast, and for a running back, and for Gibbs, it wouldn't have really changed. Where I would have him. And he goes out there and runs a 4.36, so showing he's getting more athletic. It's a freaky dude that fits today's NFL. The pass catching upside is fantastic. So there's going to be teams that have to have their hands on him. Before it was late round 1. Maybe people have him mocked early 2. Now, it's not that much of a boost, I suppose. But I think he has a shot to go in the middle of the first round just because the type of player he is. Impactful player, big-time playmaker. I think that there's a shot there. There's teams that just don't like to take running backs earlier in the first round in general. I think Robinson and Gibbs are those, in my opinion, are those guys that are worthy of going, middle first round, even earlier in that perhaps. But late's definitely a possibility. It's just hard for me. It's basically what I'm getting to is I think he kind of locked himself into the first round. I know it's running backs. Could you just, teams just pass up on the running backs? It's just hard for me to see, we're going into day 2 and Jahmyr Gibbs is still on the board. It's just hard because he's just so good of a football player in general. Such a big playmaker. It's just hard for me to see him on the board there going into day 2. So big day for him. Chase Brown, we saw Sidney Brown on here when the defensive backs went. His brother from Illinois, and Chase Brown, very impressive outing as well. I mean, he had a monster season for Illinois, but coming out here and, exploding in those in the vertical and the broad jump, like towards the top of the class, that 40-inch vertical is ridiculous, for him. 5'9", 209, kind of a physical back at times we see, but quick as well, hitting the hole. And then going out and running a 4.43, he kind of completed the three drills there, being towards the top of his group. So that was very impressive. Like, I knew he was a good football player. I knew he was pretty explosive. These were all better than expected numbers for me. So he was so productive last year that maybe some people project him as a round 4 guy, but there's so many running backs. And maybe, with Brown, like, again, he was so productive. But was there like a wow factor there for me before? That's where I was like, I don't know. But then going and having this day kind of really adds that on top of it. So I think that really boosted him. I still think early 4 is a possibility, but I think teams will feel like he's a safe pick. Maybe late round 3, early 4, so, as a possibility. I thought it was a big winner today. Very, very much so impressed me. And then some other guys I do want to talk about here. Not a long list of winners, big time winners that we highlighted, but Anton Harrison looked pretty damn smooth. He has the length as well, so that was fantastic. It just really looked smooth out there running and then doing the drills. And then Earl Bostic caught my eye from Kansas. Definitely a day 3 guy, but he looked pretty good across the board today as well. Just guys that caught my eye. And then Darnell Wright was who was already I've had in the first round, but it was kind of realistic he could go early second. I thought he had a good outing at the Senior Bowl. In the on-field drills, he really caught my eye with Wright. So I just really smooth. It should be a day 1 starting right tackle. It should be. So a pretty good day for Wright. But I still think he's probably. I mean, he has a shot to go middle first round, but he's probably late first round. And then Luke Whippler, interior offensive line for Ohio State, center. I like the upside at guard as well. He had a good day. The shuttle was really good, which I actually take the shuttle pretty seriously when it comes to the offensive lineman. And then Cody Malk, North Dakota State, who was, he didn't have a great Senior Bowl, but he was kind of highlighted a bit because he was one of those guys where 1 second he's playing tackle because he played tackle at North Dakota State. 1 second they got him out at guard and at center another time during the Senior Bowl, practices. So that's fantastic. And we know he's a pretty good player. He played very well at the tackle position at North Dakota State. So it's one of those versatile guys with a lot of upside at maybe the guard position. I heard some NFL teams like him at center. But like if they got him, they'll put him at center. So we'll see. But I thought he had a good outing as well, quick, smooth. Another one of those guys that had a good shuttle time, which I take seriously again. Peter Skoronski is stock down. It's on a major down. This one's a little unique here with the stock down. Peter Skoronski, the offensive tackle, that's stock down. Peter Skoronski, if you project him at guard, it don't move. It did nothing. It actually might be up because he's the best guard in the class. Osiris Torrance right there with him. But it'd be Skoronski is the best guard in the class. But the reason he's stocked down is because, he was a tackle and he was a pretty damn good one. And usually that's enough for me. Like, you're a pretty damn good tackle. I like you at tackle. Let's not overthink things. But you do take arm length pretty serious when it comes to tackles. It is a serious thing there. And Rashawn Slater actually played for Northwestern. That was a thing. Some teams liked him at guard. I left him at tackle just because he was so damn good. And he had 33-inch arms, which was kind of that bottom point there. And I kept him at tackle. For Skoronski, who I've had at tackle, he comes in at not as good of a tackle as Slater. Pretty damn good though, but not as good in my book. But both Northwestern guys, people doubting him at tackle, but he comes in just over 32-inch arms, and that it is a little short there. So that's tough. So I think more teams had Slater at tackle than guard, but there were teams that had him at guard. I think more teams are going to have Skoronski at guard over tackle, which he could be a Pro Bowl guard. He really could be. So it doesn't really sound like stock down, but he wants to kind of keep playing the position that he was playing. I think he's good with, if somebody wants to start him at guard, he'd be fine. And also tackles make more money too. But I do think he'd be a Pro Bowl level guard someday. So most likely a guard for him. So it's a different type of stock down. Not the end of the world there. Kenny McIntosh from Georgia ended up running in the 4.6s a little slower, which I take what they do on the actual game field on tape a little more seriously, but because he gets the ball in his hand sometimes, off a pass, a reception, or a run, and he just flies, So it was a little weird to see that, that him running in the 4.6s there. And it's such a good running back class where guys are going to be pretty much the same grade across the board. Once you get to the his range where he's been talked about, like 3rd or 4th round, 5th, maybe possible, maybe now too. Those guys come off in any order, and you got other guys kind of helping the guys we're about to talk about, and then a guy like Chase Brown helping themselves, or maybe they just barely hopped over him. So that's tough. And then Achane, the Texas A&M back, a little bit of stock up. I mean, he flew. He's smooth. He's athletic. I mean, he flew. So you got to highlight him a little bit here. But we knew he was going to fly. He's an undersized back, big-time playmaker, electrifying at times. He should fly, so it's tough to say fully stock up. The issue is, I guess the build, the weight, him being thin for a running back, and then how will the durability be with it, that kind of goes along with it. So that's a tough part there, but electrifying player, and he kind of showcased those. And Keaton Mitchell's kind of in the same boat. He's a little on the smaller side, a little more to him, body-wise, a little bit. Him over Achane. I like Mitchell's tape. I actually think as a running back, like seeing the hole, hitting the hole, doing what you have to do as a runner on the inside, like he might be a little more impressive than Achane. As a runner, but Achane, overall, maybe just a better playmaker. But I like Mitchell's tape a lot. He plays a little bigger than what his size is, but he flew as well. And he actually had the best 10-yard split. Mitchell and, some of these other smaller running backs, they're all battling to be who's the quickest, because those guys they're supposed to be the quickest, and he was in the 10-yard split. So I like that from him. And then Evan Hull, who kind of caught my eye in the early game of the Senior Bowl, Caught my eye with the combine as well. He ran faster than I thought. And then he was the best of the shuttle as well, you know, the kind of the quickness drills. So that was fantastic for him. So definitely a sleeper on day 3. He's just overall underrated, it feels like. Like, I didn't think he was going to be as fast as he was, as quick, even though I knew he was quick, but he was quicker than I thought. And then you look at the guy and you don't really give him a whole lot of credit, you know, for physicality, but then you watch him play and he bounces off some guys sometimes. He's pretty physical. So across the board, kind of an underrated guy there, the Northwestern running back, who seems to have tough guys. That I was gonna say they have it always at the running back position, but it feels like Northwestern has just been pumping out tough dudes. So in Illinois too, both schools from Illinois. They've been having some ball players and some tough ball players recently too. So, yeah, interesting. I found that interesting. So, yeah, that wraps it up for the day 4 winners and losers. We did this for all the other days. I felt like I had more guys than the other days. I guess it's how it goes. Some days are going to have more guys. Some days are not. Some days are not. So you can check out those other videos. We'll have a post-combine updated mock draft for you guys probably late afternoon tomorrow, which is Monday the 6th. Can't wait for that. That's going to be a lot of fun because some things change. Maybe we'll have some trades. Yeah, and then we'll keep you guys covered with all the NFL trade talks and trades that happen and free agency, the franchise tag. So join us, like, subscribe, to notifications on. It's very, very important to follow our Twitter at GoDosNFL. There's a link pinned in the comments for that. It's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.